Let me take a sip of this here wine.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little heavier.
Like it's Friday.
Johnny, do you like wine, Johnny? I can't remember.
I like wine.
like
I
you're
like
not
wine
a-
with like a meal.
But
Or like
you're not like
wine
a
with
wine
the
at
gals and
home.
like with a pashmina around the outside fireplace 100%.
Oh, how
Oh,
lovely.
wouldn't that be nice? We got to take a trip, go somewhere and like just sit around the fireplace.
I really want to go to Puerto Vallarta for New Year's.
That's a little more
I've
than
never
just
been.
a wine around the fireplace.
I know, but I just thought of that. Oh, hello everybody. Hi out
hi.
there.
Oh, God, it's so how rude of us.
Welcome
So
to my
rude.
home.
How rude. Oh, that always makes me think of Chris.
How rude. Wait, is that Mary Kate and Ashley?
Oh,
How
he's doing
rude.
something.
Rude. Yeah, it is. Full House. Or it's Stephanie. It's Stephanie, I think.
Stephanie.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Stephani's.
I
wow,
guess
my
the
God.
memories ingrained in me
Things
from
you
my
remember.
ex, and I'm just I'll always fondly remember that was a Chris Olsen quote first.
What-
how
What
nice.
was a Chris? What was?
Was a Chris Olsen? What was a Chris
What
Olsen?
was a Chris
quote?
Olsen quote?
How rude! He would always he would do that sometimes. He would
Oh, I
jokingly
think I've heard him
to
say
me.
that.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear that
To
in
me?
his voice.
You mean to me?
No, just in general, like
Oh,
online.
so he's
on
using
the
it with other people. Thanks. Okay, so it's not so special anymore. I'll remove the endowment of meaning I had. Thanks, Johnny. Okay.
Sorry.
It's fine. Can I take 5 actually, please? Did you hear what he said?
Oh my goodness.
People care actually. And I know we talked about never mentioning Chris Olsen again, but
Jesus.
this is good. This actually, who knows, maybe this will get us more listeners.
In fact,
it won't.
Did he respond to the email?
Chris Olsen, he's on a
I wanted
flight
to know
back
if
to
he
the
was
United
gonna
States
join
right
for
now.
that one episode, and we were going to surprise them.
Oh my God, I would
He said maybe next.
we'd
Oh,
better
wow,
be in
okay.
person for that.
Maybe next year is better than nothing, though. You know what I mean? Because he's
Gosh.
a busy boy. Anyway, thank you for humoring me.
Anytime. So, audience, today we wanted to talk about living in 2025, how it seems like we have it all, but yet we don't have quite enough. And what I mean by that is, like, I was thinking the other day, like, we have so much these days, like, at our fingertips, at our disposal. We have Amazon, we have ChatGPT, we have Grindr, we have anything we want, we get it by the minute. In very quickly. We need therapy. We get on ChatGPT and ask them a couple questions. We need to go meet someone and get a nice quick sucky. We get on Sniffies, But yet, a lot of us are coming up empty, and not in the good way. I feel like a lot of people I talk to feel barren. They feel like, what else? What else is going to? It's like there's like this consumerism that kind of leaves us never having enough. And I wanted to talk about it on the pod with the girls today and also with you.
Something that has been interesting because the new iPhone is out, right? iPhone 17.
Oh,
And-
I didn't even know that.
Yes, there's this cute little iPhone.
Just being invented.
It's a novel device. It's like a Palm Pilot, but in cellular. So I can't even recall where I saw it. I think it was on Instagram, and I think it was just an ad that I quickly just glanced at. But it literally said, "You don't need a new iPhone. You don't need a new iPhone." And it was I think it was an environmental campaign.
Yeah.
To try to get people to step out of the consumerism and out of the loop of like needing the new one, needing the latest. And it was an interesting thing because it really made me pause as someone who is getting the new iPhone. I already ordered it. I'm waiting for it to arrive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of due. I'm a few generations. My phone is in shambles. It's glass. I can't even touch the back because I get little shards of glass under my fingers. Wow. So, I probably deserve one, or I'm telling myself that. But there is something that just hit me. Like, what do we really need?
Right.
What do we need? And I always make jokes about what my family came here for and deserving nice things. That I always say, the great Cuban quote, my family didn't come to this country for paper flowers, as made famous by Elsa Patton. But really, that's how I kind of feel. I've always been a consumer. I love material goods. I love designer goods. I'm not like a total snob about it, but I've just always liked showy, flashy things. And I've made it a part of my personality to think that is good, that's okay. It's a part of how I perform myself to the world. And I don't know, that ad just made me really think about that. And also that I don't have as much money now as I have had in the past. So that also forces me to reckon, I'm making less money than I did at my last job. I'm significantly less. So I've had to really reorganize how I think about my finances and who am I without that extra cash?
Yeah.
Right.
How do I define myself if not by how people respond to my accessories or what I'm wearing,
Yeah.
And the pursuit of that is exhausting.
Yeah, we live in a time where everything's on steroids. Like, I read the other day that the average person sees 4,000 to 10,000 ads on their phone daily.
Is that
Daily. That's what. Yeah, looked up the quote because I heard it somewhere and I was
Taking
like,
it
Did
Another
Deborah
sip of
Cox
wine.
post about it? Was it on
no,
Deborah
it wasn't
Cox's?
Deborah Cox. It was,
Oh,
it was
okay.
someone with a little bit more of a trust and
authority?
presence.
Nary of the
But
three.
I think it's one of those things because we're so used to seeing ads that it doesn't really seem like we're ingesting them, but we are. Like everywhere on TikTok, on Instagram, if you look on the news, like on your phone, emails, those are all ads,
Yes,
and
they are.
it is just one of those things. I was like thinking about I was walking the dog the other day around the neighborhood that I live in, and it reminds me of growing up in the 90s, the neighborhood, because it just feels so, I don't know, it just feels like people live here, if that makes sense. Like it feels like this is the family home. Like we're not just moving here last year. Like this is they had the first, second, and third child in this home. I just thought how lovely it felt to grow up before the internet.
Yes.
Because every little thing felt so big. And I'm sure that our parents and those that came before, like people that listened to the radio as their television, they couldn't wait. They would sit by the radio and just listen. It makes me miss simpler times when our brains weren't so clouded with everything, and we talk a lot about that on the podcast of the like wanting to slow it on down. But I feel like it's just a big conversation within culture right now is how do we slow down?
It's also, we can't escape it. Like I thought about that too. I'm like, we have discussed this on the pod, but it is kind of like in relationship, we got to do some check-ins about it, and you kind of have to go to I have to go to couples therapy for my life's use and how I'm spending my energy, and like I think about these apps we open every day, like Instagram or TikTok. Their job is to make sure we come back. And whether that's the puppies you think are benign and better than following and muting all the boys that you have a crush on because you think they're too sexy and you think they're just priming you for sex, like it is still learning how to prime you for the next visit. You know what I mean? And when you have corporation coming at you to try to do that, and they're putting their full fucking pussy into it, like we have to unplug from it, and this is how we hopefully get to do that for you listeners. Like just know, like stars, like we're just like you know what I mean? Like we also need help. Like it's just we need it.
I need more than help. I need a lobotomy.
We hit him with an ad right after that. This is why KFC. No, but it was funny. I was on TikTok the other day before I turned off my phone.
That's a good title.
I
was on
clicked
TikTok
on
the other
clicked on something on a video of someone, and it was like it zoomed in on her t-shirt and it said shirts just like this. That is a new feature on TikTok. You can click on a piece of something in the video.
It's like a Google image search.
Yes, like a Google image search for more purchasing of more stuff. Not only is there TikTok shop, there's TikTok. Even if it's not TikTok shop, you can get this hat. If you zoom in Johnny's hat, you could get a hat like, oh, it's New Balance. You can get it here, delivered to you quickly. And it's just like Juan was saying, do you need the fucking hat? Watch the fucking video and move on.
Does anybody still wear a hat? But you know, the truth is TikTok shop has gotten less annoying than it was. There was a moment about a year ago when it was really annoying, and now it's medium annoying. It's very annoying.
But are we just used to it then?
Or we are used to it, but also
my dear
I think
Ian, perhaps.
I will say I've bought a couple things from TikTok shop,
Me too.
so I feel like it is much more
I've gotten some good deals
on my algorithm than but I also think they were paying people to have TikTok shop before. And, you know, just like everything, everyone, you know, just like every Mary Kay and Tupperware salesperson, you know, some people are going to do really well and some people are not. So they'll fall off and there'll be less of them. But this is the next pyramid scheme of our generation of like trying to get people to buy things literally all the time. And what bothers me the most is that we have so much more, but we're not making so much more. We're actually
us in income.
Correct.
Yes,
in England, but yes, both.
Yes, yeah. So, by the way, I fact checked you on the how many ads per day.
Yeah.
University of Southern California reports it's a minimum of 5,000 ads a day. Actually, more than you said. Okay. And there's Go Ad Fuel, which is like it's an ad agency, I believe that, and on it they did a survey and they said it's anywhere between 4,000 to 10,000 ads a day, depending. And the University of Southern California, which of course we should trust because we trust universities. God bless the universities. It says that in the 1970s, people were exposed to about 500 ads per day. At present, they believe that it's about 5,000 ads per day. This is articles from 2023. There are 5.3 trillion display ads shown online every year. Imagine the number of that.
That's crazy.
On average, children see 20,000 30-second commercials each year. Adults can see an average of 2 million of those on a yearly basis. That seems hyperbolic and over the top. And I think you have to understand that, like, that might not be the average person, but this is an average of all people, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's an average of an average. So of things that are not, including things, that are not average, which is pretty wild. And going back to the TikTok shop of it all, what is also amazing to me is the talent that you see on TikTok Shop Live. Have you ever watched TikTok Shop Live?
I've watched it because my mom was visiting and she was like, oh, this lady I watch every other night, she has such great sales and it is insane. I was like, she was on there for like 2 hours just watching the lady sell stuff.
It's entertaining. Well, I mean, it's like QVC, right? So that's existed in Home Shopping Network, but it's wilder because there's more interaction. You know, on HSN, the pace is not fast.
Right.
On Home Shopping Network. It's a slow, things sell out. They're doing the rush sales, their flash sales, and all that. And it does get a little crazy. But overall, they're only taking a few calls.
Yep.
On TikTok Shop, they're literally responding to dozens and dozens of comments every 10 minutes. And they're really responding like, I want to see the gray. And they go and get the gray.
Right. And my mom and my aunt, she said that the girl that's selling knows them because they buy from her a lot. So when she shouts them out, they get excited because they're like, "Oh, she's talking to us! Like she's gonna save one for me. She's saving one for me." And it's just like, my mom is the perfect consumer. She buying things is like is her way of feeling good. Stuff she does not need.
It is for many.
For like, you know, I'm like, I wonder if I'm that way, and I think I am. I love buying things. I think I buy something every day. You know, I started selling clothes on Depop, and I was like, you know what I need? Tissue paper, so that I can fold my clothes and put the tissue paper in, so that whoever buys the stuff feels like they're getting.
Need that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did when I first started, I just put it in the envelope and sent it. But now I'm like trying to, make it a little nicer because I want people to feel like they're getting a premium product when they buy from my Depop.
Do you
And I
get a
have my
review
own-
on that?
Yeah, they can leave you reviews.
Yeah, and they'll come back for more.
Oh, I
Right.
see.
Yeah.
I see.
But another thing is, I don't know if you all are big this is a thing that is about consumption and more and most that plagues me. It's saving posts. Saving posts for references, and especially for fashion, because I like fashion, but other things too, interior home design,
Yeah.
job opportunities, financial. I don't want to say men. Oh, honey, forget about that folder. It's called. You know what it's called?
What?
Jackrabbit.
The Men I Love.
The man I love.
Okay, so now I only have one man I love, but you know what I mean.
So of
Yeah,
course,
yeah, yeah.
of course.
So wait a minute now. I save these things, and I also save like financial schemes. So like if someone's like, oh, you put this in an IRA and the money and this, I save all kinds of things, ideas. What do you call that thing you say it over and over in a mirror so you feel better about something? It's like a
Affirmations.
mantra. Affirmation. I save affirmations. I save all kinds of things. And it's that pursuit of excellence and most and
Right.
actualization. But there's also this commercial drive under it all, because they've made us salespeople. What's so interesting about TikTok and Instagram, and this is I'm stepping away from the sales of it all, but just the idea. The reason that Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok have not interfered all that much with creators making money from brand deals is because it does not behoove them to do so.
Yeah.
They just need the creators to make engaging content.
Right.
And the money, that small market share, ultimately, at the end of the day, if they really got in the business of that, of being like, any money you make from a thing you know on TikTok, I need 5% of, they may do that in the future. Times may get tough. But for now, they have not done that, because the point is they need the content creators, they need the trends, they need the virality, they need the dances, they need the ideas that creative people have to keep people in the app. I mean,
Right.
the algorithm is nothing without the content.
Right.
The algorithm is nothing without renegade. You know what I mean? It's like it needs that. So I just think that's really interesting because, and also tangential, but aren't you amazed at how creative people are?
Yes.
Aren't you amazed at the transitions and the effort that people put with the things they do with CapCut? Motherfuckers aren't
CapCut.
doing on Marvel.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? There's higher
I gotta
editing value sometimes than in movies.
Yeah. But I also,
Wild.
I'm mostly impressed with those. That's really fun. But like sometimes it's also the person who it feels like amateur-y, and yet
Oh, yes.
the message or the point of view is so strong, and there's something else about it. I'm going to send you an ad that John Eric sent to me.
Okay.
That it was hilarious. It was for Sarah V, and the influencer has on prosthetics and is dressed like an old witch. It's giving like the witches Angelica Houston when she takes the mask off. And so it's the witch telling like boyfriend in the bed like you should really start using, but like talking like a normal person. So he wasn't like it's just
That's
the face.
funny.
Yeah. So did you see this?
No,
No,
but, that
But
just
see,
so
already
part
making
of
you
it.
laugh. And but like recorded like giving amateur porn, like pixely and like weird like
Oh.
just in that it's not
Production.
polished at
Yeah, yeah,
all, but you're engaged, and the engagement on that ad was crazy, and it's brilliant because you're willing to watch, and like now all of a sudden it's like anyway. So that level of like mom and poppiness, kind of scrappy, is kind of my favorite actually, because it transcends the polish of like flash.
Yeah. How often do you feel like you don't have enough?
Have
Every day.
enough every day.
Every day.
Every day. Every single day.
Every
It's a
single day.
defining part of my daily angst
right now. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. And in many ways,
Yeah. Do you think that's why if we're not working, we don't feel like we're achieving enough, or because you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I know. I was just talking about this. I think that has something to do with it for sure, and specifically to us three and like Johnny. Like I know, like as when you're an actor and there's such a well-practicedness in feeling of use when a job is there for you to you go to set, you go to the theater, someone wrote it, you auditioned. It's like, and that's why everyone at certain age goes, if you don't see yourself, if you don't feel like the material is for you and there's not enough work, then they say make it, and it's like so true, because if you're not the person and you're like, I'm a lazy person, I don't really want to make it, I just want someone to make it for me, like if you're waiting for that, it can feel like a lot. It can feel like you're not doing anything. But yeah, so I do share that with you, although I think I do a good Delulu version / like compartmentalize way of having to just be okay with unemployment sometimes, and like living with this freedom. I've just kind of changed the story I've been telling about myself on that, from like a while there. It was like, oh, like this is what it is. Like, let me enjoy this free time, because when it gets more intense, as some of you know, as an actor, it's really intense. And all of a sudden now you're wishing you had more free time. And, it's the how that switches based off of what's happening.
Yeah.
yeah, I would just say that I think I have had every privilege in the world, every privilege that a person would need to succeed. I've had it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really expected that by my 27 plus age,
Yeah.
I'll be full T. I'll be 30. Am I going to be 38 or am I 38 already?
I think you're going to be 39.
No. Is that so?
I think aren't we the same age? But you're just...
We are.
Wait, no, sorry. But no, you're younger than me. Or are we the same age?
Excuse me,
you'll
as
be
the great
39
Iyanla
in
Van Zant said,
January.
excuse me, let me go weep in the bushes.
Weep in the bushes.
Oh my God, that really got me together. Woo!
He said, no.
That's right. Okay, so yes, I
As though
expected.
someone held a gun to her. No.
Oh my God, 39. Okay.
I mean, I think we could do the math.
Yeah, no, it is. It is
Okay.
that. That's what it is. That's what it is. In January, Capricorn. This is the year of the snake. That must be the year of the chicken. Okay. So I thought that by the time I achieved this maturity, there are certain things that would have been really figured out financially.
Yeah.
And I do think that my financial angst is exacerbated by Instagram and TikTok.
Correct.
Because I see people around my age. Of course, I love young people, so I follow and try to engage with Gen Z and younger because I like to stay on top of trends, etc. But on Instagram, and especially, I'm fed people my age who seemingly have it figured out. And financially. Like
Right.
the house, the cars, the this, that. Maybe it's all fake. Maybe it's not. It doesn't matter. It's still there.
Right.
So when I look at my life, there is a sense of responsibility to have achieved because of the privileges and the advantages that I have enjoyed. And it's like, well, I should have really done a lot by now financially. Like I should own a home or two.
Right.
I should be in this place in my career. I should be making this much. And that hunger is healthy to a certain point. When I was a kid, we talked about this on the show before. Losing, it's a trope. It's a low-hanging take, but it's very 90s. But people say, the hardest thing about losing weight is you got to eat. You got to eat.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the hardest part about this is that you got to work, right? Everyone's got to work. But what you expect to make for that work and what you expect to be able to spend, and you want the fantasy that you see online. It's overwhelming. It's exhausting.
This is the problem, is that a lot of people internalize that as like, this is my fault, or
Yes.
I thought I would. And to be honest, I think we might have, had we been in a different financial situation when it comes to these corporations and how they pay. You know, speaking just from what I do for a living, like as an actor in, let's say, the 90s, even early 2000s, if I was on the shows like I am now, had I been in those shows in the 90s or the 2000s, I would have been able to buy a house and live off of residual checks only. Because of streaming, because there's so many more channels, because there's so many more shows, there's less money apparently to go around. But that's not true, because the money is going somewhere. It's just going into the pockets of the richer people. It's a scheme that Todd had set up, okay, that isn't working for us. And I think that's why we have so much class, like ideas of class warfare going on right now, because people are starting to get hip to the shit of our parents used to be able to buy a house with so much less than what we're able to buy a house with now. Even renting an apartment in New York City is the Hunger Games of real estate. Even the shittiest fucking apartment you can find is still going to have 13 people and 30 rats that are trying to get into that thing, you know? And so, yes, we have so much more, but they're giving us so much less. And we're giving them our money willingly, because it's really sometimes the only thing that brings us joy, you know? And I don't want this to be like a sad episode, but it's like one of those things that it's like, it's just what we're all kind of contending with. And then, you know, when you brought up the thing about like love and how, you know, because there's so much at our fingertips, we feel like we must have all of those things. And, you know, the idea of polyamory, monogamy, whatnot, it's not so much that we need all of those things. It's that we know that we can have all of those things. So do we need them? And when we have them, do we need more? You know, it's just, it kind of takes over every aspect of our life.
Yeah, it does. That's exactly right. It takes over absolutely everything. And the reason this summer there were so many think pieces about this exact idea is because things have come to a head. We're overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. The news cycle is every day there is another gigantic event. Exactly. Every day. One of the great Sondheim songs. Yes. Every day a little death, and every day there is another national emergency in a way that there hadn't been. Mm-hmm. It may be in the early internet, but now in our current internet and Beyonce's internet, it is like that. And so we are exhausted from that. We are exposed to all the ways that we are not enough constantly. Mm-hmm. Constantly. And most importantly, we also have this strange moment where those who are supposed to not have are having. And so I'll use gay men as an example, because we have a lot of gay listeners. Gay men used to be the artistes. They used to be people who were disenfranchised in every way, including in the labor market, right? They were not. They were the artists. They were on the. They were part of the fray, and now gay men are not artists. Of course, there are many that are, but now most gay men, when they're in high school with their overachieving asses, want to become doctors and lawyers and real estate agents and hedge fund managers. Mm-hmm. And the only thing they want to do with a Broadway musical is produce it and go to opening night and hopefully hook up with the dance captain. Like, that's what they're after. So it's created an ambition, not that is that it's now a part of who we are. It's a part of kind of proving the world wrong, that we have financial success, that we can. And that's also true for women. You think of women of color, and all women, but particularly women of color. This is the moment in which, for the first time in generationally, they're able, women in general, but women of color are able to engage with wealth and the idea of wealth in a new way. And so we are aware of it, and everyone is working harder because we want that thing. We want that thing that maybe our parents didn't have or weren't allowed to have. Our mothers weren't allowed to have. My mother was, luckily. But, you know, I think that's a big part of the existential drama. And when we were talking about this in the group chat, as a lot of our conversations come out of the group chat, a lot of the topics for the show come out of conversation from the group chat, I should say. I thought about, what do you take from this? It's like, how do you stay sane when the pressures of not enoughness take hold? What are you doing to cope with it?
You go to dinner with people who can pay for the dinner, and they're like, I got it.
Period. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
You stay at houses that are owned and, you know, by people who are like, oh, like, stay as long as you want, who are paying for the house. And maybe you hang out with people who pay for you to hang out with them. Those are just a few ways that I think could probably help, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you're good at that.
Kudos for spilling.
Oh, sorry, that was not my experience.
Oh, was it not?
No, people always want to treat me to things, of course, but
Correct. Would you say no?
sometimes, yeah.
No.
I don't like feeling like I owe anyone
indebted
anything.
to someone. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, like to me a bit. So kind of to what you're saying with like your mom and growing up with like this. I grew up with a scarcity sort of family of just like you know, my mom worked 2 jobs for as long as I can remember. You know, we lived a very charmed life in London, had a lot of money, had an amazing penthouse apartment in Kensington, and you know, people dream of that. And then our lives changed dramatically when we moved to the States, and all of a sudden my mom wasn't working at an embassy, and like my dad also, you know, we went to like truly middle class. And whilst I had everything that I could have ever needed, you know, asking for things like, you know, I'm talking even just, Mom, I have to pay for this application for college. Like, she didn't understand. To her, it was like, that was hard. It was like pulling teeth. Or like, Mom, I need some money for graduation, like weekend. There's this thing called grad weekend, like I kind of have to go to, whatever, all these things. And so I remembered, I vowed that the second I got a job that allowed for me to live comfortably, or just like where I made money, I was like, I was going to be able to provide for myself in whatever that was, which was to either treat myself to something just because I wanted it, or because a dinner out is also, again, what I wanted. And I remember I when I got Mamma Mia right out of college and I was making money and all these things, like it felt so nice to just be able to take care of myself and others. I remember I took my cast of West Side Story that I had just finished during the tour of a few of them. We all went to brunch as like a catch up, and I paid for it. And I remembered, I was like, I just want to do this thing that I know I can do because I'm on a Broadway contract, and it was the most money I had ever made. And I was just like, I wanted to kind of like just go against how
You grew
limited
up
I
feeling.
felt with money. Yeah. So to your point, you know, like I like being taken care of, but I also like taking care of.
Oh my God, of course.
You know?
I think that's why we're not rich too, is because we want to give of our riches when we have them.
Yeah.
Like when I was on Queer as Folk and I was making more money than I'd ever seen in my life, I was like, I got it. Don't worry, I got it.
It feels nice.
It feels amazing. It feels like,
And it feels like what you should do.
Yes,
it feels like
exactly.
the point of the whole thing. It feels like the whole, like, yes, these are the people in my life that like make this worth doing. Why would I not want to treat them? I think I also feel the same way as you. And when it comes to like, I don't want anyone to be like holding that over my head, because some people do.
Or that they think I'm always going to let them do that is a big thing for me. Like this isn't a habit here. Like when we go to dinner, just because you're like, this happens with Mario, and like I love him, but he does just kind of like always foot the bill with his friends and like around, right?
Yeah.
But I am like, I don't want that to always be the case. So I like to pay for things with him, me, and Jerry, and we split things when we live together in Bolinas. Like there's an amount of, I know it's just he buys when he buys, but if I'm with him, I will buy if I can help it.
Yeah. And it's also nice to just to for them to see that you are
That you're
willing
showing-
and able, and it's just like also friendship.
Yeah,
you know?
and
Yeah.
repaying kindness, if you will.
I love the English language. I think the English language is magnificent, and I love the Spanish language a lot. And there are certain words that just are in English you don't have, that you want in Spanish, and vice versa. I'm obsessed with something. It's a very Cuban thing you say, but everybody says it. Cuando una persona es espléndida or espléndido. Like my grandmother used to say to my mom, no seas tan espléndida. Don't be so generous. But espléndida, what I love about it is it has splendid in it.
Yeah.
And there's a lightness when someone is, another word would be like desprendido, they're detached. They're, cuando una persona es desprendida, some people say that too, for being generous. And it's because they're detached from the money. I think that's so poetic. And so there is something to that, wanting to be espléndido and detached and give it away because it's a part of the joy of having.
Yeah.
And yet we have so many people in this world that don't want to give away their riches.
And they have
as
so
if
much.
they were the only one. And it's funny because it's the richest people that have had the most help from not only the people that they probably employ, but those that came before them that gave them the money, and it's such a tragedy, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I was watching a video on TikTok the other day of this woman who was on the street with her child. They were sleeping on the street. They didn't have a home. She lost her job. And this guy with a hidden camera came up and was like, hey, and he gave her however much money, and she gave him one of her blankets. And he's like, no, you need the blanket. You're here. Like, you just keep the blanket. And she's like, no, take the blanket. And I cried. I cried because even in her scarcity, she didn't have a scarcity mindset. Like, she's still giving of whatever she had to this man for being so generous with her. And that is something that, like, I think is so beautiful and reminds me of what growing up felt like. We would give to other people. Like, I remember going to church when my mom was like a single mom and we didn't have a lot of money for food. We would go to the food banks at the church because the church would get donated from restaurants, meat that was like maybe going to go bad the next day, or we ate Burger King French fries for like 3 months because they had these bags of Burger King French fries, and the church gave them to us just because we were part of the church. And I was like, that I don't see that these days anymore, like that kind of like taking care of each other, because everyone's so busy, and that's also not everyone's fault. We're so in our own lane, our own life, our own troubles, our own chaos, our own not having enough, that we forget to be in that kind of community with other people. So I love hearing stuff like, going to dinners and paying for this. And, that's one of the things I love about going on trips together, is going to the grocery store to buy food for the house.
Yes, of course.
It's like such
The
a
best.
beautiful moment of like, oh, should we get this? Oh, let's get that. And then everyone splits it and you make breakfast together. And it's like, I don't know.
It's one of the
Yeah.
reasons I had so much fun in Bolinas. And I think I told you guys, I was like,
Yeah.
maybe on the show, that there was, I actually,
In Bolinas, California. by
in
the way,
Bolinas,
for those who
California,
didn't
yes. I actually felt that I wanted for nothing for those days. I felt so that everything was enough. That being with Mario and Jer and just waking up and like deciding what we were cooking, and like the way, kind of to your point, this thing where I don't want to seem like I don't. It's less about being indebted to someone, or I really don't want it to seem like I'm taking advantage of you, right? If I'm gonna do that, I'll just let you know I'm taking advantage of you. But like with Mar, there was something that I was like, oh, I feel he's my family. Like he is taking care of me in the like, what do you want to eat tonight? You know, and it reminded me, I think, of like being at home, but like way less stressful and way more fun because it's like my life right now. Like I'm in adulthood, right? But that's what it touched on, this like chord of family and feeling like I was okay, like I was safe and truly taken care of, and that it was enough. It's, you know, so I think that's what I am always searching for, even if when I'm working or if I'm unemployed. Like at the end of the day, things I look forward to are sitting down with you two and having these moments where we talk and feel like I am connected to something that isn't just in my own, you know, sense, like center, things that remind me to think a different way, things that help me feel not so alone, or just remind me that things aren't actually that bad. And like, you know, hearing both of you talk and be so sad about your lives. No, but like, you know, having these conversations, you go, wow, okay, yes. But then I like a fucking contrarian / also like I always want to look at the world with some wonder. It's like there is truth to everything we're saying, but then there is so much greatness that comes from this app changed my life by the, you know, not to get to like, this isn't to be contrarian, but like TikTok changed my life. The amount of connected the amount of connection I grew with people and millions of people in a short amount of time during, you know, it wasn't a war, but like a terror. You know, there are these things that like we have to remind ourselves also bring a lot of goodness. But to what you're saying,
I'm not a social media fatalist, nihilist. I'm really not. But
and I'm not saying that Johnny is saying, or we're all saying that is what is happening. But you know, we're living on a new earth, as Eckhart Tolle has written, and it's just about, I think, moving along with the times. And if we're being inundated with this, then we just this is what's exhausting, is having to Mel Robbins or focus on your blooming at 100% to combat that. You know what I mean? Work me quoting myself, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think both things are true. I think the internet is a beautiful treasure trove of opportunity, knowledge, connection,
creativity.
I think, but just like if you eat a loaf of bread, you get those carbs, you get that energy. But if you eat 50 loaves of bread, that's a different story. So one thing that I like, when I was listening to you talk about your trip, something that happens with us on vacation is that we radically connect. We radically put our phones down. We play card games. We cook with each other. We talk because we're in person. We're seeing each other. We're, you know, the same thing when we go. Yeah, we when we go and meet up with people at coffee shops that we haven't seen in a while, we put our phones down. We look at each other in the eyes. We catch up. It's about that balance of
right now.
No, I'm looking up something to tell you.
No, but it is, and that's the thing. Like, I love being on my phone when I'm talking to you guys and, like, you know, sharing that kind of stuff. But I do realize that I am kind of in this technological, like, super center of just constantly seeing whatever I want and things that I don't want at the same time. A lot of things
that's
that
what I'm saying. Things you don't want. Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. But it's like, it's the balance that I think of, you know, I do like that kind of marketing ploy of like, you don't need a new iPhone. Like for an ad to be that big, to be like, you know what? I don't. Actually, I don't. Like that kind of yin to the yang of it all. Because if everything is so urgent and everything you need now and you need the thing now, then I feel like that's why it feels like we don't have enough. Going back to my breakfast nook, when I sit there every morning, I definitely, and it's not something I'm doing on purpose. It's just one of those things where I'm like, this is enough. This is what I want. I love this, you know. I love the shape. I love the feeling, the coziness of it. For me, that's my place in my day where I'm like, this is enough. And as long as I can have this, I feel good, you know. And then, of course, you know, it's like, I would love this. I would want a bigger house. I want a bigger job. I want to, sure. But also, this is great, too.
Yeah. I love a long ride on an electric city bike. That's where I really feel like I feel the most free, to be honest.
Wow.
I like to do it with a Kelly 25 around my body, but
it's not important, but I feel like what you on the electric city bike? Where did that come from? How did that habit start?
That habit started. Okay, so
I guess like who introduced you to the city? It's so inconsequential. I actually don't think it matters.
Clearly, it's not.
Forget it.
We used it. We rode it into Brooklyn one time, and it was wild and crazy, fancy free to go to Animal. Right? That's what it's called. What's the one that's owned by the same people who own the Exley? In Greenpoint?
Animal.
Animal. That's where we went. It was for Pride last year in 2024.
Johnny, were you with us?
No, I just remember what last year was.
Because I was like, wait, there was that one time where we were on bikes, all three of us together in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that was when we went to brunch at Soho House, and then we went shopping
that
around
was fun too.
Williamsburg.
Yes, that's right. But
yes, that was how that happened.
I'm kidding.
But all yes. So this summer, yes. Listen, it's the wine o'clock.
Thank you.
It's the wine o'clock, okay, everybody? It's drunk history.
Great show.
Great show.
No, great show.
I was. This whole made me think. I think a lot of the reason that we're even talking about this is because it's the fall, and I don't know for y'all. New Year's is New Year's, and we love New Year's, and I love New Year's, but I have a big connection still to the academic calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
I'm still very tied to September to May, June.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that just feels very much a part of like what a year is, and the summer is something else. And
this is where we get things done.
Correct. And so the summer becomes where you get to enjoy. The summer is where you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? And if the fruits are not to your, if they're not to your liking, or if you don't feel like you're getting enough fruit in comparison with the other motherfuckers out on the streets, it may make summer very difficult for you. And then that's when, yes, you experience it, but you're experiencing it in real time. And then I think in the fall, you are dealing with the fact that you didn't have the summer, or you didn't have whatever that you wanted to have. And now it's cold. And it's cold. So it's a triple entendre.
Yeah.
And it's not fun.
Maybe if they wouldn't bought so many things on TikTok Shop, they would have had enough money to go on those.
But you know, they had a good relationship with that girl who was selling it,
Yeah.
and so they were like, "Oh, I feel connected, and I got a good deal." You know, I thought about. Okay, go.
Tell me what you thought about. I've talked way too much.
No, I was just gonna say, when you brought this up to Johnny and I with this amazing conversation, you had said something about the dysphoric. I'm trying to quote you. I just remember this section, but you were like, there's this dysphoric perspective of the world or something because people are living in New York is what we were specifically talking about. But like, you think you have to keep up with everyone around you, but those people around you, and this, you know, you could replace people around you with like who you follow, kind of to what your point of like what I'm seeing and the houses and the cars and all of that. But those people are in a dual income household, right? Or like they're quite literally living very different lives than you, and yet we forget about that. And I know I fall under that kind of trap of seeing like Johnny and Philip, or like you and Jay now moving in together, and how I have written that it must be easier though, because you're both doing that together, and so there's a sort of financial burden that's being shared. And specifically with me, like, I've made less money this year than I ever have in my entire life, and I'm like, I don't love that I'm living off of my investments. Like, I have a safety net and that's what it's there for, but that's
not good. Yeah.
Even I find myself being like, oh, like, it would be so much easier if I like got to share this apartment with like a partner. And I'm like, but that's not the reason to get a partner, you know, like that level of thought is happening with me. And I have to kind of like
You also
It's-
shouldn't be paying
it-
that much to live in that apartment. Just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
your specific
Yeah.
apartment, but like your apartment
idea.
as the idea.
the
of it.
editorial. Yeah.
Correct.
I see
It
what you
is
mean.
the way that they charge for places in that city is.
It's extraordinary. It's unbelievable.
Mom,
It's
Daddy,
gotten.
come save us!
I hope
Well, you
so.
know they're saying he's not going to be able to come save us. It's like I have some friends who were like, the idea is he's
and where do they
bringing-
live? You know,
in a
I'm
dual
not- I'm-
income household.
Uh-huh.
Am I saying that right? Is that how you say that? A dual income
Yeah.
household?
I
Okay.
always think it's really interesting, and this is no shade. I am a rich person, so I will say that, okay?
Yeah, you
but I
live rich.
love when rich people have thouts about poor people. I think it's so interesting about what's best for them. I think it's really interesting. We'll have them on, but
I
to your
asked. He
point-
said he's too shy, but I did come to him.
we'll
and say,
find people who are
Yeah,
willing
we
to
will.
do it. But when the mayoral race is closer, so two things to your point. There is to New York. There's this really interesting thing about New York that is unique to here. Maybe not completely unique, but it's heightened here. Here, the haves and the have-nots commingle in a way that they don't in other cities. Rich people and people who are not rich go to the same places. They eat at the same restaurants. They take the same subway. They go to the same parties, especially gay men. So it is very easy to feel dysphoric because you're like, wait, what? How am I friends with them? Like in Palm Beach, the rich people are not friends with poor people in Palm Beach. The people who live in Gables Estates in Miami do not have poor friends. In New York, this is the melting pot of all people. You go to a party, you go to the good room, you go to this, that, you're hanging out with people who have and those who haven't. And it's dysphoric because you think you should be able to do what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have the money to do that. But you feel like maybe you should, right?
Right.
Why don't I? Well, because, and then that gets to the that gets to the people that this is a city in which people come here and can make more money than God.
Yes.
And this is also the city where people come to make art knowing that they're not going to make any money.
yeah.
But that tastes different when you're not making it, actually. So it's different in theory than it is in practice. And I think that can make a city like New York even more challenging to live in, especially for gay men, but that's for all people.
Yeah, for sure.
Here.
And I think
That's
we're
for all
all
people.
faking it. Everyone is doing
I
a
would
version
agree.
of their, like, in
Other
some
than
way,
Kelly
right?
Ripa, she's actually not faking it. She's really doing it.
She really is.
Talk about an architectural digest home. My goodness.
Oh my God, I love.
That's a
their
rich
home.
lady.
Yeah.
That's a happy.
That
lady.
is a rich lady.
No one talks about like the sort of mixed racial like goodness, splendidness that's happening between them. You know, I love them so much. Maybe we should do a think piece on them called an episode, and we could just like I don't know, dive down a Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelo. Like,
I remember once they told me I was beautiful. both of them.
Ooh,
oh my God,
together?
Well,
Like,
she said
we saw
she
you from
said-
across the room.
She said, "He's so handsome, Mark. Isn't he so handsome?" Yeah,
Johnny.
that was.
Where
yeah,
was
it
this?
Johnny's got stories,
At the
honey, with
Polo Bar
celebrities.
Garden.
Polo bar work.
Every once in a while, Johnny will be like, "I was with Sandra Bernhard."
Which brings me
Yeah.
to
Actually, I was with Sandra Bernhard. Once.
get her on the pod.
She was holding my. She was holding my hand.
I know that's right.
Wow.
Yeah,
Was
that
she
we were
tripping?
on pose together. She was my nurse.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, that's right. Oh my God, that wonderful
Yes.
scene.
Oh my God.
Okay, this is tangential before we go out.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to leave the audience and I'm going to leave everyone with this, and we'll come back to it. We're going to do another show about it. This idea that you can have it all, do it all, da-da-da-da. We've talked about how this was the gospel taught to women in the 90s, and yet they still had to do all the responsibilities that they did before, right? No one's going to help them, and now they're being told that they need to work and they can work and they succeed, and it's a trap.
Whilst homekeeper also.
Exactly, why they have to do everything. But that manifests for gay men in the way that now so many men are in open relationships. And I think we should come back to this topic because I think it's a really interesting one. the idea that so many people are in open relationships, which we've talked about a dozen times. But I'd like to kind of unpack that thirst for wanting it all and having it all in a relationship and what that actually costs a relationship and what that actually does to a relationship. And furthermore, I am so tired of the think pieces. You know what? One of my least favorite videos on the internet is this kind of video. All I want is a monogamous boyfriend. Where are the people who just want to have a man? Everyone is in an open relationship and I want to be monogamous. Do you know how much I hate those videos? The most self-important videos on earth. That is so, it's such clickbait. Anyway, I want to talk about that.
I'm surprised that they don't all just find each other when it comes to, because there's so many of those videos. I never see a open couple that's like, nobody wants to sleep with us. Oh.
As a person
People
who's in a
do.
monogamous relationship, I find those videos so annoying.
But that's her bats. Maybe that's her bat signal. Maybe that's
Right.
her way of like
Yeah,
starting.
that is, you will find the most insufferable people that way. And that's,
It's
maybe that's
clickbait.
who belongs together. Alas.
And Galinda helped it come true.
You deserve.
That being
each
said,
other.
take a little time to enjoy nothing, to enjoy the nothingness that also exists out there. Go out for a walk and be in nothing. Think of nothing. Want for nothing. Just try a day
Just
without
try.
thinking, I need to book this dinner reservation. I need to get those leggings from Amazon. I need to suck that dick at the Eagle.
Well, now
Just-
let's let's hold on.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna draw the line on that one. You
What-
know.
Yeah,
you know, one of the things that has people in a chokehold is this company called The Row. Do you know how much these people charge for things? The Row? Have you heard of The Row?
Mary-Kate and Ashley's The Row?
Oh, the row.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
row.
Those pieces are really expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really expensive. They shock me.
Oh wow.
Especially because it doesn't have a brand all over it. And you know, as Cubans, we like to show it off. We like to
Yeah.
put it
If I'm
on.
going to pay good money for it, you're going to know where
I
it's
want everyone to know.
And that's what we call new money.
Correct. Nouveau riche. One of my
Nouveau
favorite
riche.
words. I love that word, nouveau riche. I thought about making that my drag name, nouveau riche. It's a great drag name, right?
That's a
I
great
do it.
drag
I went with
name.
Please
Winnie the
welcome to the
Please.
stage. Nouveau Reach.
Riche. It's great.
Ooh, I love
it.
that.
All right. Well,
God, and there's my Equinox charge, $354 at the end of this.
that's
episode.
another episode.
That's another episode.
The going from
But you do
paying
get
that.
I do kind of get your money's worth.
Oh no, I
know.
do. I do.
I hope
My
you get your
swimming.
money's worth.
I'll have you know
What?
that I.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh,
sure.
ee,
Sure, sure,
ah,
sure.
The swimming-
A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y?
The swimming classes are. You
Uh-huh.
know what? This is guys.
Yeah,
I'm
if
sorry.
you took one swimming class, it would be $100.
Yeah, the level of my skills and drills on. Baby, I am.
Girl,
literally
don't be
like,
giving people your schedule.
Oh.
The girls
They'd
will be
have
showing
to,
up.
baby. They'd have to have that key card to get into the Super Ultra Mega and Platinum Plus.
It's
Oh,
just
you think
Greenwich.
stalkers don't have money, bitch? Okay.
They will make it.
They
So
will
make it, huh? Huh? Yeah, you can make it. So make it, Because that piece just sold for $14,000.
Oh,
I
yes.
hate when people
When
say
rich,
that.
yes.
She's quoting Juan.
When rich
Lord.
people are stalkers, they're just eccentric. they're obsessive.
Right. Until they kill you. But anyway,
What did he say? What did he say? The man when he was peeing in the Robert Durst, he's like, "I know what you did. Everybody, they know. They got you." He was a rich stalker. That man.
And they
There's
call
not a
it
lot of rich
Aquila.
stalkers. Oh,
Oh.
I mean, you know what?
Aquila, the bee.
They don't want to talk about OJ. I'm not talking about OJ. OJ's for another day.
That's a really
We're
good.
doing an OJ episode. By the
bye.
way.
Please welcome to the stage, Aquila, the bee.